Kia ora. Down here, down
Kia ora.
by the river with my sis over here. Firstly, thank you so very much for coming here and being a part of this kōrero today. Mistee K, a lady of many hats, a lady of so much mana, and I'm so grateful for you to be on here and having a kōrero today for the Down by the River podcast. Firstly, how are you, sis?
Oh, kei te pai ahau, kei te ora tonu. First of all, thank you, sis, for having me on this show. It's an honour to be here to share in this space with you with that beautiful background behind you with the awa there.
Me koe hoki, sis.
With, bit of greenery. Nah, kei te pai ahau. We've been battling with the COVID the last week, so it was actually, I think from what I've heard, a lot of mama have been getting hit pretty bad. It's the backbone of the whare that's been going downhill quite hard and fast. So, to those that are listening and that are out there, just, really puia, o koutou mama, papa, just really look after them because, I actually couldn't mum properly for a few days, and it was quite hard for me because I usually just push on through. But now I'm feeling alive and well.
You're looking very vibrant and radiant, my sis, straight up.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
I'm happy to have you here. I've just introduced my sis as Mistee K over there, Mel's, aka Mama. Want to give us a little whakapapa or a bit of pepeha for our listeners today, there, sis, before we get into it?
Sure. Tuatahi, whakanuia ki a koe mō tō whakatūwhiratanga o tēnei kaupapa o te rānei sis. Ka mihi atu ki ngā mate kua huhua i tēnei wā, haere atu rā, me ngā hunga ora e tinana ana o mātou tūpuna i o mātou nei mahi rangatira. Tēnā koutou katoa. Ko wai au he uri no Ngāti Kahungunu ki te wairua, Ngāti Kahungunu ki here taonga, ngai tūhoi, Ngāti tūwhare toa me kaitahu. Ki te taha o tōku māma ko ngā whānau o Ngāti Kahungunu ki reira, ki te whānau tōku pāpā, Ngāti tūwhare toa me kaitahu. Engari, he tū tonu au i roto i te ahuru mōwai o tōku mahi i roto i te tawa moana i ngā wā o mua. He mihi aroha ki te tawa moana marae, ko tērā taku kāinga rua hoki, me tōku iwi he ramana whānau whānui, aku mihi nui ki a rātou hoki. So kia ora everybody, my name is Melanie Huata-Lucas. Sounds very like I'm in trouble when I say my full name, but Melanie Huata-Lucas, most known as Mouse or Mistee K. I was born and raised in Hastings, Hawke's Bay, in a beautiful little pā down there, Kohupātaki, which is my very, I'd say my ukaipo. It's somewhere where I love to go to rejuvenate, especially when we need those times to just regroup and reground ourselves and just re-energize, and that's my place that I go to. So born and raised down there in Hawke's Bay, and then I moved to Auckland in 2006 when I joined the Navy. So I just, in my pepeha, just then I acknowledged my mum's side, which is her whānau is the huata whānau. Huatas are all over the motu. So her whānau are the huata whānau down there, but we were the huatas that were brought up in Kohupātaki, and my papa Gary, and that's his side, and my nan is from Kohupātaki in Hawke's Bay, and she's a puna. So she is my link to Tūhoi, Te Rewarewa. I haven't been there yet, but I'm looking forward to hopefully, navigating my way through as I'm on my journey of whakapapa and my reo as well. So please forgive me if I may stumble upon my words. I roto i te reo Māori, just know that it's coming from a place of aroha. So kei te ako tonu au, kei te ako tonu i roto i o mātou nei reo rangatira. Still learning our reo.
Beautiful.
But yeah, very, very blessed to be in an environment now where we can normalize it, and before I quickly neke atu ki tērā kaupapa, my dad's side is from Westport down in the South Island. And Tūrangi, Little Waihi is where my nan is from, and that is the Te Moana whānau, so that's my whakapapa back to that iwi, and obviously, down in Kaitahu, the Lucases, my whānau down there. So currently living in Kaipātiki, and if you don't know where Kaipātiki is, that is Glenfield, G-Field,
hey.
in Tāmaki. And I spent, I've been here this will be my 16th year living in Tāmaki, Makaurau, and just finished my chapter in the Royal New Zealand Navy. So I did 15 years in total working within the Defence Force, and 10 years of that was working in Te Ao Māori, so working at the Navy Marae, which I'm so, so grateful for, and that's why I when I say where I'm from or what my iwis are, I always pay homage to my iwi hiramana whānau, my Navy whānau, because that is pretty much where my passion and desire to ignite big chunk of my life, sis, but a huge ignition in terms of regaining and reclaiming my identity in Te Ao Māori. Started there, back there with my journey working at the Navy Marae. So it's my kaingarua, a second home to me, and at that marae is where I actually got my mokoko wai done. So because I wasn't able to go back at the Navy Marae, so that was my mahi where I was working, but it was also like a second home for me, and where I got my I was able to, whakatuwhera tukuaha, that's what I like to say, open the doors for other wahine within the Navy to adorn the markings of their tupuna as well. So that was, something that I was able to give back. And we were just having a brief discussion about giving and like how we can give to people in so many different ways. So yeah, that's a big version of
that's a beautiful vision. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that, because you're a woman of so much mana, like you are mana wahine through and through, and I've seen some of your journeys and just via like socials and stuff like that, in complete awe of just who you are and what you represent and how you represent your tupuna and just all that mana that you hold, sis, and giving along the way. I mean, we've been able to cross paths a few times on a lot of different things because you do a lot out there, sis. You do a lot out there. So it's been a blessing to be able to cross paths with you and actually be able to join paths with you on a couple of things there. I mean, with your music as well, that's a big part of it. So now that you've given us an incredible whakapapa, firstly, ngā mihi nui ki a koe. Thank you so much for sharing that, sis. You've actually inspired me to really just dip into more of my Māori tanga as well. I've always been interested in, well, not always, I guess I've found a strong pull towards te reo Māori and just connecting the dots a little bit more and finding more out about my history and stuff like that, because I mean, my pepeha, my whakapapa that I kind of know right now is still like kohanga reo styles, you know what I mean? Ko waikato te iwi,
ko waikato te
awa, like the
but aha ko te aha, sis, he iti te kōrero, he nui te whakaro, like, although it's like, it might be a few lines or to you it might seem that way, but it's huge, sis, like to even just know where you come from. Like you are the awa that you are sitting, that you are sitting in front of right now. Like that is you, and you are the awa. So like, he nui te whakaro, sis. Like never look at it like you only know a little bit. That's why, I was kind of like, I know before I said, please forgive me if I say things incorrectly in my reo, because I'm still learning, I'm still on my journey. Then I forget that my kaiako have told me never apologize for so I've just like contradicted what I've been taught. But it's because
just take it back. It's gone already.
It's because we have a way with staying stuck in what we've been taught, like in terms of this is what we've perceived as wrong to do. So now it's like unpacking those things. So yes, unpack that and really own like the fact that aha ko he iti te whaka, like te kōrero, he nui te whakaaro I roto I te rā.
Kia ora,
Like,
my
there's
sis.
a lot
Ngā
of
mihi.
a lot around that.
Ngā mihi aroha. Thank you so much. So now that we've gone through your whakapapa, which thank you very much for that. That was tino atahua over there. Let's go back to, so I know that from what I know, you're an incredible artist, a beautiful mama. You got 3 boys?
I got 3 of my own and 1 bonus son. So I've got 4
you got
boys.
4. You got a bonus boy as well, yes. And you're also an artist, an incredible artist as well. That's released quite a few albums, so we'll dip into that as well. And you're also now into doing mahi with the council out those ways, and you're also doing some entrepreneurial things that is working out for you, where you can spend more time with your tamariki as well. But now that we've established your whakapapa and where you're from, and a little bit about the Navy, which I'd like to dip into a little bit more, would you be able to take us through just sort of near the beginning again, just on your journey and what, where it all started with you and what inspired you to go into the Navy?
Yeah, sure. So if we go with the Navy first, both of my parents were in the Navy. However, that was not my dream. It was not my aspirations to be a sailor, to join the Navy. And my mum, she was a huge driver of that. You know, she was like, no, you're going to get a career, you're going to travel. Because I know that was something that she really wanted for us, for her children, to like really get to see the world, you know. She kept like pitching it to me, like, you get to see the world and you get paid for it. And then I'm like, I don't care, because I had, you know, my dreams were to be a musician, to be a singer, and that was like all I wanted to do was do music, and you know, I wanted to travel the world doing that. So I did my testing for the Navy, not thinking I was going to get in or anything, but I was like, yeah, I'll keep her happy, I'll keep my mum happy, and I'll do this. And then not that I wanted to, but anyway, so I did my testing and stuff like that. And if I was to leave to join the Navy, I would have had to leave midway through my last school year. So I decided to find out if I was able to actually come in as another option, which was at that point a rating. So there's a difference. There's like the officers and there's the ratings. Now, I didn't really care what kind of rating I came in as, like what sailor I was coming in as. I just wanted to come in, because at that stage I was like, yeah, I want to just give it a go, just see where it goes. So yeah, joined the Navy, and I got accepted in as a communications operator. So I had no idea what that was. No idea, just, you know, okay,
I'm going to go into this, I'm just going to wing it, you know, I'm just going to wing it.
Let's just see how it goes. And so 2006, I joined the Navy, cried for about 2 weeks. You know, I was 17, I was one of the youngest in my intake.
Wow, joined the Navy at 17.
Yeah, 17. So one of the youngest in my intake. I think there may have been about 4 or 5 of us. And we had a intake of 73, if I remember. It's going back a little while now. Yes. But that was my start to my 15-year career.
When you were 17. When did you get your moko kawai? When did that happen? And what made you go down? What made you do that? Like, what went on?
I was my moko kawai. I was 31. I'm 33
so it came
now.
a fair way into your journey.
It came, quite just recent, 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, 2, 3, shoot, when is that? Yeah, maybe 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago now. But I never. So like when I joined the Navy, I said to myself, actually, I said, look, I'm not going to go and I'm not going to do music anymore. I'm just going to focus and come in and start a new life. Because I was like, okay, I don't know what this journey is going to entail, but I don't want to bring in anything from the past. I just want to come in and start fresh and do something new.
Before we move into the music part, because we're going to shift over to that side very, very soon. What were the struggles? Were there any, would you be able to share one like profound struggle that you went through, and how did you get over that? Like, how did you empower yourself to get over that struggle? Where's that struggle at for you on this journey with being in the Navy? I think you did say things about, just missing your whānau and all that sort of stuff, but was there any other,
there's actually one
really profound struggle on that journey, and what was that, and how did you get over that struggle? Like, how did you get through that?
The kaupapa was I had an eating disorder, and the healing from it and how I got out of it was music. So,
well, that's a good transition into coming into the music as well.
Yes, it was.
Kōrero mai, sis. What happened there, and how did you? What was the struggle? What was the? I guess before you even get to the part where you start dealing with it, what was the struggle, and what was that moment that made you think, stuff this? Stuff this is too tough. And then how did you,
get out of it?
Out of it as well?
So I guess from being, and I'll just do it in bullet points, like I had been in a long-term relationship from high school. And during that, there was some, obviously, like all relationships, ups and downs. You got things that are really beautiful, and then things that really deter you into places where you find your soul is lost, And I got to a point where I guess the ngako, like the essence of how this all stemmed, was from not loving myself, You're not having any aroha for who I was, what this vessel was carrying, And when I say that, it's like you have, I had to grow up quite fast, being an only child for 9 years, and then all of a sudden my family was getting bigger, and then my parents had split, so I'd come from like a blended whānau. So then all these childhood traumas crept in, I guess, when I was left to my demise in a new space by myself. And so that's being, up here in Tāmaki. And this particular part of my life, I was, I think I was about 21, 22.
Oh.
And I went down just a spiraling journey of not wanting to be here, not wanting to wake up. And I think that was just the pressures of work. Yeah, the pressures of like, am I living up to my expectations of my superiors and my job, my music? It's not going anywhere. Like, no one's listening to what I'm trying to say. My relationship is suffering because I am not happy, and then I found solace in someone else. And, from then it was just like, who is this person? Who am I right now? Because I feel numb. And that's, to be in your early 20s thinking that you are set and you know where you're going.
Wow, yeah.
No, I didn't. And I actually ended up with a really bad eating disorder to the point where I was bulimic. I was throwing up everything I ate. Because a lot of it came down to the negative connotations that were getting passed at me, like, she's a da-da-da-da-da, or, the hate was just becoming more ingrained. I think I just started to believe it. And that ties in with the name change. So when I first came out in the music scene, I was known as Mouse. And then in that year, I decided to change my name to Mistee. Wow. And there's a big behind that, and we can go further into it soon. But that period of my life, it was really hard.
Wow, thank you for sharing, sis.
It was really hard, but I've only just started talking about it, like coming out about eating disorder, because it's actually quite common. And if this helps anyone, then I'm really happy to be that advocate to talk about it more, because of the platform that I now have. So how I got out of that was by my music, writing about it and singing about it and just letting it go.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for even just having the courage to talk about that too, because I truly believe, like, when you have these powerful conversations about, your journey and all these beautiful things that you've experienced, there was something really, there was a lesson for you in that as well. And I always feel like it's within the struggle is where the real tohu is, like where that's where you actually find your manas, when you go to hit that rock bottom place. Hence why I always, especially in this kōrero and this kaupapa, I like to shed light on things like that, because it's really tough to go in there and deal with your shadows, but it's even tougher again to leave yourself vulnerable, share it, yeah, and to be vulnerable and share your mamae, you know what I mean, or bring light to your mamae. But thank you so much, sis, because I honestly believe it will help. It will help.
It's common. Vulnerability is strength. I know that now, and it's why, even if I shed a few tears, because it is it is hard to express that side of me when I've hid it for so long. And for me, I see how it actually helps other people to come forth and battle and push those demons away as well. So I wrote a song called If I Was Invisible, because at that time it was I had tried to take my own life, but I had so much to live for, and I was dealing with losing my nan, and she was a big part of our whānau, like he poho o te whānau, she was pretty much the big the solid one, the solid rock for us all, even though she was the tiniest.
That's usually how it goes too, eh?
Yeah, and she, and her and my papa, they were a huge part of my upbringing. So it was at that moment where I felt like I don't want to be here anymore. Like no one cares. So if I just disappear, they'll be okay, it'll be all good. And because at that time, it was only a few months after she passed, I felt my nan fully, she was there, and she nudged me, and because I was on the edge of a cliff, I slipped and she was the one who saved me. She said, "What are you doing? You've got so much to live for, why are you being so stupid for?" And I sat there and I cried for hours, and my friend was at work waiting. She waited for me because she was like, this isn't normal. She's left her phone, her wallet, her keys, her car's here, and she waited. So I'll always be forever grateful for my friend for being there and just to support me in that time, And from there, I had to really try and rebuild myself. So, I might have, for you to even say that I'm a mana wahine, so I'm grateful that you see that in me. Because it's taken all those hard lessons throughout my life, my short life of 33 years, to actually come to this point in time where I'm at now. But in the short space of 3 years, the last 3 years for me, I feel like I've been able to give back so much more than I've ever been able to give before.
And you're still giving, even through all those hard times and a lot of those demons that you've had to push aside. Like, there's so much, that's why I call you a mana wahine, because there's so much mana behind your intentions, and there's so much mana behind leaving home at 17, at the ripe age of 17. I don't know many Māori 17-year-olds that would make the conscious decision to go off and go to the Navy and really fight all those things you would have been trying to fight. You literally just left everybody that you know and love, including your partner. That would be so hard at 17, because 17 we think we're in love and we're going to get married and we're going to live happily ever after at such a young age, so for you to go against all of that and throw it into something that you felt was a strong journey that you should follow through with, even though it wasn't your full passion of music as well. But there's a lot of mana in that. like so much, and that's why I call you mana wahine, because that's a decision you made at 17. You know, that's a really boss ass fucking, you know, excuse my bloody language.
If I could give any advice from, you know, from that would be on the other side of fear is opportunity. You know, just go, man. Like, you just got to go for it. Like, what do you have to lose? You've only got one life to live, sis. Right. You know, and I understand that now because I've been on the edge of that cliff, literally on the edge of that cliff, you know. And had I not made it from that day, look at everything that's happened from that time on. You know, I've got a beautiful family. Like, I've found my soulmate. I've got my whānau supporting me through everything, whether it's a bad decision, a good decision, a stupid decision, you know, like they are 110% behind me. I've got my friends, my long childhood friends who I constantly, you know, have so much to thank for who I am today, you know. So I've got so much to be thankful for. And I think, you know, at the root of joy is gratefulness, is being grateful, you know, and just plunge into it, man. Like, you know, people got to stop sitting on the fence, because that's where you tend to like live a less life of opportunity that you could ever have. And one thing that Whānau says, and my Tāne told me about this, and I think it's funny, but I think it's true. You know, she goes, kaua e noho I runga I te taiapa. Don't sit on the fence because you'll get sore balls. And I just cracked up. I was like, yeah, true that. You know, like, don't sit on the fence for too long. Don't sit on the fence for too long. Make a decision, you know. It's either this way or that way. But on the other side of fear is opportunity, and that, you know, that for me, when I discovered that, it really opened a lot more doors for me. And so that's how Mistee K came about. You know, from that experience, I had to rebuild myself, my reputation. You know, I felt like I had tarnished my reputation for a period there. So for me, it was about, how can I come back as a new and improved me for myself, you know, back to me. So it all pointed back to self-love and how important it is for us to really love on ourselves in a way where, you know, it's not a whakahihi way, but it's actually like, you don't have to tell everyone I'm loving on myself if you don't want to be like that. For me, it was like, how can I show this person, you know, gratitude again, like how I would treat someone else, you know? And so I made the decision to, first of all, change my stage name, my soul avatar, so should I say, so that I could actually go into that character when I do certain things, i.e. music, when I'm on the stage. That way, when I did that, it actually made it so much easier for me to navigate through all these people who had something negative to say, because it was like, Mistee K does not give a about what you got to say. She's she's confident, she's sexy, sassy, she's proud of who she is. Like, so it was all of these things that you talk to yourself, you know, these affirmations that you say to yourself. And so now whenever I go out there on the stage, like, I could be performing for one person and I'll think that there's a million of them out there, you know, like you give all of it, and you know, and that's just how I am able to navigate through being her and then coming off and being who I am right now, which is me, Mels, you know. So there's a slogan, there's actually a tagline in one of my songs, and it says, you know, my persona you get is Mistee and special people get Mels. Yeah. Because for me, it's like those that are really close to me, they know me as Mels, and, you know, the people that I've been brought up with. And my friend Amber from Intermediate, she gave me that nickname Mels back at an Intermediate, you know, and so it's stuck with me. And I think as an artist, that would be another recommendation, in which I always give to my students as well, is, you know, if you want to come out as a performer, I would recommend having an alias, having something else, a alter ego, because then you can leave everything there and not carry it, not take it. And that's why I did that. So Mistee is my middle name translated into English, which is Maharata. And the K represents Kohupātiki, my marae, where I'm brought up. So for me, every time I get on the stage, yes, I've still got that all of those characteristics that or affirmations that I like to give her, Mistee K, but also at the forefront, you're representing your iwi, your hapu, your marae, your who you are as a person, you know. So that's how I got to that point in my life, and that's how I was able to get out of that dark place that I was in.
Wow. So your nanny was there, your whānau was there all along. You just had to find that
All
love
along.
within yourself as well. And I felt that too when you came and you did your launch over at the Tuesday Live Soul Sessions. I felt that when you came in with all your whānau, like, and it was so beautiful. Like, honestly, sis, I got goosebumps when you guys came in, because I had never seen so many wahine at that, with the moko kawai and one spot, and Ponsonby being, you know, out of all the places being in Ponsonby. And we were just, even the bar, like our lady Lisa, she's a strong part of the vibe there. She's such a beautiful woman. She was at the bar and she sees all our Tuesday night. She was just like, I feel so grateful to be here tonight, because this is so incredible to see. She's like, I've never seen so many beautiful Māori women. It feels, she goes, I feel like I'm a part of you guys. Like, I feel so strong right now for some reason. It's such a beautiful energy. And I said to her, I was like, that's exactly how I feel. Like, this is such a beautiful place to be right now, because I feel so strong. Like, you brought, and there goes
that's the impact. That's the impact that you can bring to a room, you know, and like, to be a walking a walking movement like that, where people feel that way, like, to be a part of that, far out, like, it's an amazing feeling to know that you can contribute that way.
That's why I call you mana wahine, sis, because even the way you carried yourself when you came into radio, you know, you came in, you were still very gentle, but there's such a like big strength energy with you as well. Yeah, and you know, we caught vibes at the radio station, and you were just so chill. Really chill, easy to kōrero with, easy to jam with. We even got to have a jam, which was awesome. And then it was just next level when you came later on to do your show. And even the boys too, the boys in the band were like, wow, man. They're like, gee, the middies in here, so fine. Like,
see, but that's the thing, like, even with music
come from. And I'm like, what's Bay? It's Mistee K and her whānau. Like, and everybody was such in a good vibe. Everybody wanted to kani. Everybody was like, just so in support of you and your mahi and you just carry yourself so beautifully. You even did your whakapapa in there. I was just like, yes.
Honestly, like, I've always been like, since I was on my real journey, Fire Nedia, she was one of my very first kaiako. You know, she was amazing. And she's, you know, she's above us now. And she would always say, whenever you have an opportunity to speak in your language, or to have that time or that platform to speak, you make sure you speak i roto i te reo rangatira first, you know. And so I constantly, like, have these, you know, these nannies that kick in, and sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, oh no, I know they're going to go, oh no, she's going to take ages talking, but I can hear them, and I can hear her going, you better, if you don't, you watch it.
You better say your kōrero, girl.
You better say your kōrero.
But we'll dip into the music side of things, and also as we go through the music kōrero, talk about that journey with your music, where you're going with your music, how much have you put out, and then what links can people look up with the Mistee K and your socials. And then, let's walk through that one.
Okay, all right. Let's run through it. So
let's run through it.
So I've been working in the music scene for, 20 years. Oh, that makes me feel real old. But honestly, like, I had my first song when I was age 11. Big shout out to my uncle, Uncle Squeege in Studio 42 in Taupo,
Wow.
Lawrence Graham. So he gave me my opportunity to record a single, and it was written by a beautiful wahine toa, Marlene, and due to her hahi, her religion, she wasn't actually able to release her song. So the song was called So Baby, and it was actually about domestic violence, which, you know, I'm 11. I was 11 at this time, so I have no idea about what that is. I was luckily for me, I wasn't exposed to that growing up. But, you know, hearing how it is detrimental to our whānau now, and the impacts that it can have on people, like, I feel very privileged to have been there, and to be able to have put that song out, so on her behalf. So what we had done was, the song was called So Baby. I recorded it at age 11, alongside my cousin Zane Graham, who is very well known in the music scene as well. He's a drummer, and so Zane's been a part of Sons of Zion and Power, and I think a lot of other bands as well.
So he's on the scene.
Yeah. So he was, back then it was like, you know, Little Bow Wow was like the thing, okay?
Oh my God.
So my cousin Zane sounded like him. We had to switch the song up to like suit us, because we were both really young. He was younger than me, so I think he may have been about 9 or 10. And I was 11. So we had, I did the chorus and he did the verses, he rapped the verses. So we had the song, and it's still like being played to this day.
Oh my
all these
God.
years later. That's where that pretty much started for me. And then went back to Hawke's Bay. So obviously they're based in Taupo. Went back to Hawke's Bay and actually had the song playing on Nui FM in Maraenui, which was one of the local radio stations.
Yes.
Nui FM. I don't think they have it going anymore, Nui FM down in Napier, but
it's down those ways. I'm thinking of a different one, maybe Nui FM.
So you're thinking new FM.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you.
This is like Nui, Maraenui. They had their own radio station. So we had it playing on there. We had it playing on our local iwi station, Radio Kahungunu. Shout out to them as well. And and from that moment on, I started writing a lot of poetry. And my music teacher at Hastings Intermediate, Mrs. Young, Miss Connell at the time, she gave me the mic and said, sing, girl. Like, I want you to come and audition for the choir. What the heck was a choir? You know, I come from a kura kaupapa Māori school, Mangatiritiri, everyone could sing there. So, like, I never, you know, what am I going to do? What's a soloist? What is da-da-da? So she really gave me that opportunity in terms of performance. Like, here you go. You have a voice, I can hear it, get out there and do it. And so I always bring these people up, especially when I have this type of kōrero, because they are really, really crucial points in my life.
Stone
of me. Totally, molded my career in the music industry. So that was where I started out. And then I got to high school. I had released 2 albums. I recorded a 17-track album in 2 days. Went back to Taupo.
Wow.
My uncle left me in there and said, do your thing, Mels. And I was in there and I just would not eat. I didn't want to sleep. I didn't want to eat. All I wanted to do was record. So he left me in the studio. And
you got the bug. You caught the bug.
That was it. And
what age were you then? What age were you
14.
then? You were 14 when you did 2 albums.
Wow. 2 albums. So I did a whole weekend of recording songs, and then I went back to Hastings, and I had got these albums printed out. So my uncle had printed them out, put them on separate CDs. So I had Mistee Memories Part 1 and Mistee Memories Scene 1 and Mistee Memories Part 2. The Mistee for me comes in dedication to my auntie who passed away at 28. She was 28, Auntie Jackie, and I'm named after her. So that's another reason why I really wanted to do something special.
Yes.
And I grabbed these albums and I took them to the local streetwear store in Hastings, and I said, brothers, these are my 06 brothers. Can you please put these out on your shelves and see if you can sell them? And they sold out in 2 days. So I made 100 hard copy CDs, and they were gone. in 2 days, and I was like, what the heck? Like,
wow.
14, 15.
What did that feel like?
Oh.
That reminds me of like a 50 Cent story. I don't know why he popped up in my head, but I remember him in a documentary.
Because he's bomb.
And he's bomb. But he was talking about how, back in the days, the kids today don't really know what hustle is. So the old schools always say to the ones like, you really don't know what a hustle is until you start selling some CDs in the back of your
yes.
Which is what he did.
Start selling some CDs and some tapes, some tickets. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and you're actually going out there and giving it yourself. Like, that's an actual hustle. Like, today, kids can just push the button and, distribute
it. That's it. I know.
Distribute it all over the world. That's like, that was unheard of back in the day.
It really was. I know. So we're going back to like, Bebo, MSN Messenger days. Like,
oh my God.
Not really showing my age, but like it was a dream.
That is a dream come true. So
yeah. Wow, if this is all it comes to for me, I am happy. I was like, I am grateful. I'm happy. I did what I had set out to do, and that's where it all kind of started. Then I joined the Navy, and I said to you before that I was going to leave that behind. But there were people that I'd done music with that had already joined the Navy, and then they told everybody in the Navy that they knew, do you know that she's a musician, she's a singer, she's got songs out, da da da. And I was like, I told you, so don't say anything. Like, so I found myself at the end of my first year in the Navy performing to the whole Navy.
Oh, wow.
And so that was kind of my introduction. And funnily enough, that is how my darling first saw me. Was
wow.
Everyone was like, who is that? Like, didn't even know I was a sailor. So music has been my constant, like through my whole life. It's been my constant through my life, through my ups and downs with who my battling of depression I would say it was, the eating disorder and mental health issues and stuff like that. And also it's been my savior in terms of like empowerment, empowering others, and so going from all of those stages and this little caption that I'm going to share with you, last year, which was around my 20th year in the music scene, I was fortunate enough to meet you in person and have our interview.
Our interview and our
we actually met, like, I started following you on through the lockdown. We went into our first lockdown and for Aotearoa, and I was like, who is this chick? Oh my gosh, she's singing Erica Badu and she sounds like her. Like, I was just fangirling over you, sis. I was like, man, I've got to like connect with this sis. I've got to connect with her. And so,
thank you.
Honestly, like, just
I'm glad we did.
Me too.
I'm glad we did because
everything I am.
Yeah, we 90s
R&B.
Babies. We are 90s babies through and through. Like, even you, I see the songs that you put up and the jams that you sang, and even the jams that you brought to the recording studio. Basically, I was just like, girl, shit, you do.
I know. It just does something. It's so nostalgic, hey? Like, it's just it's so awesome to have music that's got that kind of nostalgic way of moving you, like, back to a place in time
and connecting. Like when you sing those tunes, and when we got the chance to actually sing some of those songs when you brought those mixes through, I was just like, I honestly felt like we were in there together and we were jamming. But it was like, man, I could picture the Sheila when we were like kids younger, and we'd be like having a pajama party or something, and we're like got on all our SWV tunes, singing,
TLC,
TLC, all that sort of stuff, and it gave me that type of connection to you, and yet we hadn't really met in the flesh, but we were just boom. No. It was instant connection. Like, I see you, sis. I see you. I feel you. This is a vibe.
That's what music does, though, Asus. Like, it connects everybody in different ways, And so to, like, last year I was able to connect with you, Tinana, and be in that in your that presence and that space with you, and connect on that level. But last year was actually a really, really great year for me in terms of like a big shift, you know, like I had been quite regular with my gigs and stuff, you know, so I was gigging almost every month, which was like a huge shift for me, because when I started having my tamariki, I had actually taken time off from music for like 6 years. So I had like a null where there was like nothing. People were like, where is she? Is she still doing music? Yes, I was writing. No, I wasn't performing or recording or doing anything apart from maybe every now and then jumping on and doing a cover or a live set online. And then my Tani said to me, he goes, right, you've had a long enough break now. Like, you got to do an album, and you got 12 months. You got 12 months to do an album. I'm like, sweet. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking, how the fuck am I going to find time to do a freaking album? Like, you know, I'm working full time. I've got 4 kids. I'm like, shit, how's this going to happen? How am I going to do this? I'm studying. So I had like all of these things going on in the background, but I was determined. I was like, you know what, I'm going to make it work. So I actually purposely done this, where I created my album, The Next Chapter, which I thought was so fitting, because it showed, you know, a huge growth in terms of like, you know, the next chapter is where I'm at now. You know, I've got a moko kanohi now. I have children now. I've got a beautiful tāne, you know, and my whānau are here. We're all like in Tāmaki Makaurau at that time. And it was like, okay, all right, I'm down for this whittle. I'm down for this challenge. I'm going to get it done. So I actually purposely done the album in places that anyone could do it, like not a studio. None of the songs on this album were done in the studio. Yeah. They were all done on the side of the road, in my office, in my boys' bedrooms, in my car, at the marae inside the wharenui, on the ātea. Like, honestly, if I had one thing I regret not doing is actually doing a video of all the places that I recorded, because people would not believe it. Yeah. That is how I recorded this album, right? That's how I recorded The Next Chapter. And I released it on my papa's birthday. So the album that I did before that was called The Colours Through Black and White. That was what I released on Valentine's Day. And it was the time that I was dealing with my eating disorder and bringing that self-love back. And the reason why I released it on Valentine's Day was giving love back to myself. So that was called The Colours Through Black and White. All in Good Time I had released on my nan's birthday, which was the first album as Mistee K. So all good things take time. Now that song on the album,
is that the name of the album?
It's called All in Good Time, the first album that I did, All in Good Time. And I actually recorded that song in the urupa next to my nan. So it's like I was having a conversation with her while I had my headphones on and I was doing it on my laptop. So that was how that kind of started, that idea. Then The Colours Through Black and White came when I went through this whole transition of going from black hair to blonde hair. I was like okay, I look at it, I go, gosh, girl, you're in the best shape of your life, but internally not.
Wow.
Internally not. You know, so internally not, but you know, it's like you could see to others externally looking at their image, I go, sis, mean, but no, that girl was really finding it hard to love herself, you know? Yeah. And so that was called The Colours Through Black and White, because we all have a black and white canvas that we start with and we add colour to it as we please, who we invite into our lives and all that kind of stuff. Jeez. The Next Chapter was the 12-month whittle that was given to me from my Tani, The Next Chapter, and that album has not one song on that album was recorded in a studio. They're all recorded in different places around the bazaars.
That would have been like album, the bomb-ass visual album. Do you know how Beyonce released her visual album? That would have been so like, you know, that would have been, I think it's really cool to even share that knowledge. Oh, totally, sis. But it's cool to share that knowledge with others, because there's aspiring artists out there that struggle thinking, I'm never going to be able to get anything out because I have to go to a studio that's going to I have to have this and I have to have that. Yeah.
No, I legit, there's a couple of videos that I do have, which I'll post up later on in a vlog series, where I'm literally recording with my headphones that you get with your like iPhone or whatever, like the little mic, that, and my laptop, and that's it. So that people could see that this can be done. And that album I'm so proud of, sis, because it got nominated last year. It got nominated for a music award last year for the Waiata Māori Music Awards. So that's why I'm saying, like, for me, last year was a really great year for music, because I found, like I said to you earlier on in our kōrero, you know, I was constantly like not getting acknowledged for any mahi I was doing in music or anything like that. And then last year, that album, The Next Chapter, got nominated for Best R&B Album of the Year for the Waiata Māori Music Awards, and I also got nominated for Best Female Solo Artist. So for me, it was like, shit, you know, even though I didn't take home those tohu, I don't care, like, to be nominated, to be acknowledged.
And that's all the mahi that you just did on your journey on the fly. And it would mean so much more, because especially hearing about you speak about all the places that you've recorded at, the urupa, you know, the harinui, you know, being by your nan, being at all these places, being with your babies, you know what I mean? Being in the car.
Crazy, you know. It's amazing, because when I listen to those songs, I go back to wherever it was that I recorded. Some of those songs were recorded in places that, you know, like Gallipoli, you know, I was able to go there with my hiding in the Navy, and France and Belgium and different places. So when I went on my journey around the world, I used those moments that I had in my hotel or that I had in those areas to actually make my music and to record some of those songs. But, you know, it's bigger than like I always say, it's bigger than me. Like, being able to now say that album in particular was 100% me, aside from the beats on there that I was gifted. And I always pay homage to the beat makers, man, like, because really, sis, they are super talented.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I am just really putting the sugar on top. They having to come up with the concept of how the beat is made and stuff like that. You know, I always make sure that I acknowledge those people as well. But being able to now look back at that taonga, my children are on that album. Like, you know, I've got them in the background singing Tu Tira at the start of the song, you know, and it's like it's got a whole bunch of whakapapa in there. It's
got some mouths in there. It's got a bit of mouths in there.
It is. It does, you know. And so in terms of music, you know, like, it's something that I can never shake.
Yeah, and with it too, you're in a good bloody place at the moment with your music. I'm performing next weekend. Where are you performing?
I'm in town next weekend. Yeah, at the Culture Fest. So at the Viaduct, just around. They're having a culture.
I'm coming.
Yes, I think it's the Brito Mart. So I will.
Yes, I think I know where they had the Kiwi Waka Festival out that way somewhere.
Must be.
It might be at that same place. Yeah, I think it might be at that same place out on the viaduct there, and you sort of walk on and then you walk down to, and the stage was at the end, I think, last time I went there for the Kiwi Waka Festival.
The weather's good.
It's going to be
good.
I
try and avoid going to town, but hey, it's where it's at this year. So I'm actually really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it
too. Well, speaking about all this sort of stuff, so the Viaduct, where can we find more information about your performances that you got coming up? And like, when we go and look for information about you, where's all the platforms that we can check out for Mistee K?
Cool. So you can find me on Instagram under Mistee K Music. That's MISTEE for Mistee.
Yes.
Yeah. And K Music. So all of my gatherings and things like that will be posted up on there, what I'm up to, the albums on Spotify or digital platforms. So we've gone from cassette tapes to now being on digital platforms.
Cassette tapes and CDs to digital platforms. And now
it's going full circle. I'm seeing people are like trying to bring it back, which is really cool.
Yeah, I like the vinyl concept. I really like that.
Me too.
I'm a fan of that. I'm a big fan of that one.
Mistee K Music. So Mistee K Music on Instagram. Also Mistee K on Facebook. And yeah, that's pretty much. If you're wanting to get in touch for bookings and stuff like that, it's just Mistee K management@gmail.com.
Mistee K management@gmail.com. And of course they can, any whānau that want to get in touch with her who happen to miss that by any chance, just make sure that you go and head on her Instagrams or her Facebooks and give her a message so you can find out what's going on over there. There's also
I do vocal lessons as well, sis. Yes, I'm doing I've actually been doing vocal lessons for a couple of years now for my students and stuff, and now like we've got on a global scale. So I got to give a quick shout out to my girls that I've been really supporting with their music. So Sanat, she was one of my students who came through last year in September, and she's also an R&B artist, and she's from Ethiopia.
Beautiful,
and so she
beautiful.
released her single. So when she came through, we had a corridor. This is how my vocal lessons usually start. I kind of like want to know more about you and what your goals and visions are in your music. Yeah. And she gave me that. And when I said to her, yeah, but what do you want to release a single? Do you want to do anything? She's like, oh my God, can I do that? And I was like, of course you can, because I've just done it with that album, right?
Yes.
So she had done her, I started working with her in September last year, and then she released her single in November.
That's crazy.
So check it out, guys, For the Ride. And then Kitty, who's also known as Lou. She's one of my my girls over in London at the moment. So she's also a neo soul pop singer, and Beautiful. She's just released her single. December I started working with her, and she released her single on her birthday, which is called Love on You. So go and check them both out. That's Lou and Sanat, Tsenate.
Nice. So see, beautiful mahi, see, being of service and giving along your journey as well. And these are the types of things that I just totally are in awe and love about you the most, my sissy, is that you inspire others as well. Kōrero mai.
Yes, sis, you got to get my sissy on your show with you, Lissy. She's also a singer-songwriter.
I've seen some of her mahi. Send me her. I think she's messaged actually a couple of times, but yes, for sure. I remember her. Reach out to her. We'll definitely bring her back. I'm back in the studio from the 5th of April. So I'll be physically back up in there and bringing the vibe. Like, I mean, I've been playing some music on there and filtering some stuff to at Base FM, but I'm actually going to physically be there on the 5th of April. So would love to put her on
out.
that.
Yeah.
Check
out her as well. Yeah, she's released her album too. So she did hers in like 8 months. Her album's called Pieces to My Puzzle, and
I like
it's
that.
just it's yoga. Yeah, she's something else, you know. Like, she's always been my my like heart out #1 fan in the back. Like,
nice.
Now I'm like, thank goodness, yay! Finally, she's brought out some music, because she's just super talented, my sister. And we do. A lot of people go, don't you guys like feel like you compete with each other? And I'm like, definitely not.
Definitely
Never.
not.
Like,
everybody's got their magic. That's another, you know, everyone's different, and we're different for a reason. You know what I mean? Everyone's got magic. There's plenty of room. It's all about mindset. You know what I mean? If you get your mindset on thinking that you're the only person up in the mix, you know, making things happen. No. There's plenty of room for everybody.
Plenty.
And I can see that time ticking over there. So make sure that you guys go and check out my sister, Mistee K. You've heard it here on Down by the River with myself, Madam Parker, and heard this journey that she's been on and still continuing on and being of service along the way. So make sure you go and check her out. Check out that email stuff that she's got going on over there. Actually, go and check out her gram, because that'll have a lot of your information on there on how to contact you and stuff like that too, in your bio.
Yes,
check
definitely.
out the sister's journey and her music. We as a whole, all of us, even all our people, all our whānau, even the people down here in Waikato by the river, are huge fans of you too, Sissy. Before we wrap this up, there's another thing. I swear we could sit here and be here like forever, but I'm looking at the time and I'm like, oh my God, I went over my time. But yeah, have we got all the socials and all the ways to contact you to be able to look into everything that you've got going on?
In terms of music, in terms of music, yes. Otherwise, in terms of mahi and other things and looking for opportunities, you can also check out our business page, Busy Sissies _Mals Lissy. So that's us on Instagram as well.
Say that again, my sis.
So Busy, BIZZY, Sissies, SISSY
_.
Mals, MELZ, Lissy, LISSY. So if that's something that you want to look into, looking at, you know, other ways to extend your financial gains or your mātauranga around that, then
like I said, the sissy's got many hats and been through many experiences and is actually on a new journey with her mahi as well, which has put you in such a good place at the moment, ACES, financially, and of course, being able to give you the freedom to be home with your whānau a lot more, isn't it?
Totally. That's
would we be able to tap into that and be able to do it real quickly, or would we need maybe another wānanga on that one?
Yeah. No, Kate Pai. So like with the online space, I think majority have kind of shifted towards that because of the current climate that we're in at the moment, and so for me, I wanted to look at something that was going to be a little bit more flexible to allow me that time with my children. I noticed that I think there was a lot of clarity that came through during the lockdown period for a lot of us, for me, the big factor was I didn't actually have a clear understanding of who my children were, it's really, when I say that out loud, it really kind of, I just feel really sad because when they were all young, 6 months, I had to go back to mahi and they were like cared for by their daycares, so for me, it's like, man, I don't even know who my kids are. So for me, that was a pivoting point where I was like, I need to find something. I had all these passive incomes that I was making anyway, obviously doing gigs and with vocal lessons, and also I'm an interior designer too. So having those things on the side and doing that mahi, it was like I had these amazing passive incomes, but I couldn't hold the money. Like I wasn't holding the cash flow for some reason, and it was because I wasn't educated around how money works and
financial literacy.
Totally. Yeah. I had a lot of learning to do around that.
So do I. I think a lot of
it's ongoing, it's an ongoing thing. But now like I am just so, the vision that I have is so much more clearer that I know where I'm going with it. So I'm really grateful. My friend had shown this opportunity to me just over a year and a half ago now, and I couldn't understand how she was making all this money dropping into her account while she's in the ngahere, while she's out looking after the animals, doing all these things that she loves and that she's passionate about. And I'm thinking, what is she doing? Because she was still in the Navy, but she was on leave from work, so she's on leave without pay. And I'm thinking, she's making more money doing that than what she is here, and I was just like, okay, I'm sick of trying to make ends meet and doing all these passive income jobs here and there. There was nothing kind of
substantial
set up in a way where it was going to grow that generational wealth, and that to me was like a big thing. I really wanted to make sure that I'm leaving behind for my leaving something behind for my tamariki. And so this online business that I'm a part of, it's definitely got a community within it. I'm a part of an educational platform as well, but I'm actually someone who helps people generate an income that could replace their current income. I'll just say it like that.
I love it.
It gives you an opportunity to actually replace your income. And the way that things are going in society and in the economy right now is that passive income is going to take over your full-time job anyway. So, there's so many opportunities out there. Do your due diligence. If you have any, if you're quite skeptical like I was, like I say that past tense now, you got to do what's right for you and for your family and for your current financial situation.
So where can people find out or touch base with you on things like that? Is there a specific channel that you want them to go through, like your business, like the Sissy business channel? Or is there other places better to go through that?
Yeah, it's better to get more of a visual of what you can do, because what we do is actually attraction marketing. So it's not so much pushing a product on people, so to speak, straight away. It's actually showing you the lifestyle that you can create from the product that we affiliate with. And I I will drop it to you guys because I believe in this product 110%. And like, who doesn't need water, guys? So if you have no idea what kangen water is, you need to get out there and learn about it.
I actually need to tap into that with you because I actually want to get one of those as well. And I would love to be, I mean, yeah, I would love to see what's up with this and be a part of it. And I mean, I 100% believe that, you know, water is our number one. You know, it's
you know,
your
it's health is your
gold and
right?
diamonds. It's like,
oh my gosh, yes.
Unless you have access to incredible spring water where you're from, which I don't think a lot of us in Tamaki Makaurau do, that would definitely be the path to take. So I actually, outside of this, I want to tap into you with that one.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Please, sis,
you know,
because I want to look for
think
getting
about
that water.
Money, financial, always leads back to water. Currency, liquidation, you know, like all of those things that we think about with money. It's energy, it's
energy,
fluidity, like it's everything that links back to water, you know. And that, when you think about it,
it's of the highest value. That and air.
That's right. I've had people laugh. I've had people go, "Oh my God, are you selling water machines?" Like, it's more than that. It's way more than that.
The mindset is different. Like, it's so important. Like, money's, to be honest with you, actual money, it just comes and goes. It's just a fad, really.
It's a piece of paper.
It's a piece of paper.
That's all it is, guys.
It's here. It's your mindset. It's the value, everything. Like the things that you have, it's the value that you put on it that actually creates the abundance. It's the value that you put on things that actually create the abundance, not the actual money. So I'm tapping in. I'm tapping in, sis, once I get through these other kōrero, and have a nice, beautiful wānanga with these other beautiful beings. I will definitely tap back into you, sis. I'll probably just flick you a message and then try and find another gap with you, because I really am 100% interested in getting one of those and potentially being part of the team. It would be really bloody
you know,
awesome.
Like, the thing is it gets really I guess for me, like, you know, in the most nicest way possible, like energy wise, is your time as well. So, you know, just for those that are interested, you know, just honor your time and honor my time, so that we can actually, you know, reciprocate and not have like a million questions, because that's the beautiful thing about this business is we've got platforms that actually gain that automation where you don't have to be sitting there for hours talking about it. Like, you send a link that puts the onus back on the person to actually go and have a look into the product and actually research it for themselves, so it feels right in your heart. So that's probably the only whakaaro that I would put out there, that, you know, if you do have, if you're really seriously thinking about replacing your current income, and you want to know more about it, please feel free to reach out, but also know, you know, honor your time, and then that's reciprocated energy for me too. I
respect your time, because obviously you're a very busy wahine. You've got a lot of things going on over there. You're giving people knowledge. You're giving people rongoa too through what you know, and that's priceless. And you don't want to be dealing with people that are going to ask you several thousand questions that they can't be finding out yourself, Whānau. Push the buttons. That's as easy as it is these days. Research, Whānau. Research. If you're going to go into something that's going to potentially create a life of abundance for yourself, really have a ihu. Have a look around.
Be your own mahi. Be your own mahi. It's going to be your business essentially, not mine. I'm not going to be your boss.
Ki runga I te taipa.
Ai. Kare koe I runga I noho I runga I te taiapa.
Taiapa, that's the one. That's it on that bench, Whānau. Make sure you get up. Thank you for empowering our listeners. Thank you for being vulnerable, sis. Thank you for sharing your struggles. Thank you for sharing your healing journey. Thank you for sharing your music as an artist. And thank you for sharing this new vibe that you're on. It's so empowering and uplifting for our whānau. And that's basically what I wanted to do, what our team wanted to do for Down by the River, is to have kōrero with beautiful mana wahine like yourself and our tangata too, and make these types of conversations a thing. It's a thing. Empowering each other is a thing. Complimenting each other is a thing. Talking about abundance is a thing. You know, and it's a beautiful thing. And bringing this kaupapa and having you here has been a blessing. So Mauri aroha, Mauri blessings, my sis. Thank you so much for coming and spending your time and your energy here with me today down by the river.
Noku te whawhi. Thank you so much. Thank you again for sharing this space in your platform, and kia ora to all your listeners as well for tuning into this kōrero today.
Kia ora, my
Thank
sis.
you.
Aroha nui, kia ora.